What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Me TV Reviews. I am your host, Mo, and tonight, y'all, we're going to be discussing Will Trent. That's right, y'all. This is season 3, episode 2. This is the part 2 of the season finale called Sunny Side Up. I hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend, but y'all, tomorrow is back to the hustle and bustle. So without further ado, let's go ahead, get into the synopsis real quick, and then we're going to get right into the episode. So the synopsis for this one is: under mounting political pressure, the GBI and ADA Marion Alba race against time to rescue a kidnapped child, all while uncovering dark secrets that could shatter their preconceived notions of the law enforcement community. Y'all, that was a whole mouthful. This is not hooked on phonics, okay? Anyway, so without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. So we start the episode off with Will calling Marion to let her know that they've just arrived at Sunny's caregiver's house, and I believe her name is Penelope, to see if they can find anything or if the caregiver knows anything. And he thanks her for sticking her neck out there on the line for him and wishes her luck at the press conference. She then proceeds to said conference. And to most people, Marion is just reiterating her job objectives, perform a thorough investigation, follow the facts and the evidence, try to get justice for the victims involved, okay? It's just a simple job description. But the way the press tried to twist it, and the mayor received it versus what she actually said, y'all, the mayor was pissed because they had already gotten a confession from Ralphie, right? But it had not been corroborated according to Marion, which she does kind of have a point there. It hadn't been corroborated with any evidence, so just let me do my job, girl. Okay, we want a slam dunk on this. If he's a cop killer, we want him behind bars, and we don't want him to get out on no type of, discrepancies or anything like that. So let me do my job. Let me do a thorough investigation so we can lock him up for good if he's guilty. At the caregiver's house, they can't get anyone to come to the door, so they break it down. They look around and they can't find anybody until they head into one of the rooms and find Sunny's caregiver Penelope dead on the floor in the closet due to a gunshot wound in the back. They also notice that one of the windows has been disturbed, which leads them to believe that somebody must have snuck in through the window and shot her while she was in the closet. They then go to Sunny's room, and it's messy per your typical tweener, all right? All except one spot, that is, which means that she must have been in somebody's view right there in that clean spot. Ain't that crazy how you just clean up the one spot because you got people coming in and looking in on it? That kind of remind me of during COVID. Y'all, when they would have that one spot clean in their house on them Zoom meetings. Or, be dressed real nice from the waist up. And then, yeah. So this is what it's given, right? So they look around and they find a camera hidden up under the bed. And after looking at the footage, when they hooked it up to the computer, they see that Sunny was recording a video for her classmates when she heard a gunshot go off. And so she tried to hurry up and hide, but the perp, and after they slow it down and look at it, y'all, and they look in the mirror, they see that it's Lincoln. Yeah, from the Grover Park Boys or the Grove Park Boys, whatever their name is. Okay, so Lincoln done snatched her up too fast for her to even try to get away, right? So they call everything in only to find out that Lincoln's turned up in the morgue, y'all. He been shot and killed by taking two from behind. One of them end up going through the middle of his neck. Okay? And then he got shot in the back of the head. Now, the question is, who would be bold enough to take down the head of an organization? And Amanda unfortunately confirms one of her worst fears, y'all, that it's got to be somebody with a badge. I got my good eye on that soon to be retiree, okay? Now, Will talks to Ralphie to see if he can give them anything to go off of, and he has no clue. All he knows is that either way, she gonna die. Now, Will promises that he's gonna bring her back alive. And, they have some playful banter trying to ease the tension a little bit and the worry on Ralphie. And so they have some banter about Sonny being way smarter and prettier than Will. And Agent Gross brings in stuff that was collected for evidence at the crime scene. And so they have been testing one of the items with a droplet of blood on it. Ralphie also mentions that she has a Drixby, which is sort of similar to like an expensive Game Boy. Y'all remember Game Boys? The color Game Boys? Yeah. Them was the good old days, y'all. So anyway, she's got this Drixby to keep her calm, and they usually play this game together, and they can also, use the app to communicate as well for the game. So they have the hope that they'll be able to reach out to her through the game. So we'll see what happens. Now in the box or the interrogation room, I was trying to use some police lingo there, y'all. Ormwood is speaking with Miss Dolores. Now, Miss Dolores happens to work for the DMV, and they suspect that she's the one that's been forging the titles for whoever is heading this stolen car ring, right? So she initially denies being complicit to their crimes, but after Ormwood mentions that the victims have been falling, they've been dropping like flies. All your little people that you've been working with in this little crime ring, yeah, they've been popping up dead. They've been showing up at the morgue. So who's to say that you won't be next, girl? And so she finally caves and admits that she just does the paperwork, and she gets paid via direct deposit from some company called Battery Wall Industrial. She also tells him that she meets with a guy named Mac weekly and gives a description of him being a white guy with a gold grill. Now, although today isn't the usual day for their meetups, he just casually rides up to Will and Faith on his bike asking had they seen a lady in the park somewhere. What? He gotta be one of America's dumbest criminals. I'm telling you. What? Boy, okay. You can tell. He just an errand boy. And so he tries to make a run for it, y'all, but it quickly, yeah, he get caught pretty fast. And worse for him, y'all, the dummy had a doggone pistol on him. Hope it ain't got no bodies on it. So back at the office, they matched the ballistics from Mac's gun to the bullet that took out Chester. He's stupid. Ralphie is convinced that Mac would never be smart enough to pull this off on his own and tells of a time that he actually tried to steal a car, him being Mac, when he tried to steal a car but had to abort the mission because it was a stick shift and he didn't know how to operate a stick shift. I'm telling you, I probably would have got caught too because I don't know how to drive a stick neither. More power to you if you do. Now, Marion has rejoined them at the office, and so her and Will are going to try to team up to get a confession out of old Mac over there. And we start to scene hop for the next few minutes. So as Will and Marion are working on Mac, trying to get him to confess, Amanda and Ralphie are trying to communicate with Sonny. But the firewall that's on the game is just as good as theirs, right? So Agent Gross goes to figure that part out while Amanda tries to console Ralphie when a message comes through. They get her to describe the room that she's in, and Amanda figures out that it's a safe room based off the bars on the windows and the emergency clothes in the closet. Yeah. It's one of their own, for sure, for sure. So they then ask her to look under the bed to find the gold phone that's usually there and have her dial Amanda's cell phone. The phone rings after a few seconds, y'all. So they make sure that she's okay, of course, and tell her to stay on the phone, but slip it in her pocket. That way they can kind of hear what's going on behind the scenes. And so just as she's doing this, y'all, the masked assailant comes in. Now, put a pause in and we're going to go back to Will and Marion. Now, Will and Marion can't seem to crack Mac just yet. He's not copping to taking out old Chester over there. But after they warn him that he may be next and slide him Lincoln's picture from the morgue because he didn't believe that Lincoln was dead. And he was like, oh, you said you want to see proof? Oh, okay. Here's the proof. That's all you need, right? And so Will and Marion slide off to the side. They stand in the doorway, right, talking about their little pets and stuff. So she got a little fur baby too. Now her fur baby is a kitty cat, and Will loves Miss Betty Maria Trent White Trent. Y'all know I don't know that girl name, but yeah. So they're talking about their fur babies, right? And now he done had a change of heart. He's ready to confess. And so he confesses that Lincoln was the one that actually gave him the order to take out Chester, because he said that it would help him move up the ladder pretty quickly in the ranks. And he wasn't too worried about getting caught pulling this off in broad daylight because he had a badge helping him. Now, he don't know old boy name, but he can describe a distinctive scar right above his eye that stood out to him. And with that, they know who the ringleader is as Sonny struggles with him in the other scene and finally unmasks Captain Cromwell. It was him. Well, now that she's seen him, of course, he knows that she's been using her game to communicate because she dropped her Drixby. So now he got to kill her. And I'm just curious as to how he never noticed that big ass lookalike Nintendo Switch before now, because it looks like a Nintendo Switch with the actual handles for like a PlayStation or something like that. I was like, how you not notice that? It's pretty long. Anywho, that's not the point. So hopefully they can catch her, figure out where they at before he kills her. Now, after Cromwell ends up throwing her in the trunk, he calls someone and threatens to out whoever it is if he happens to get caught. Because if he get caught, he's not going down by himself. Now, meanwhile, in the back, in the trunk, Sonny gets back on the phone with Amanda, and while they're tracking her location, Amanda's able to talk her through finding the emergency latch to open the trunk near, and so like where her location is, they're near a mall, right? And so Amanda saw that a stop sign was coming up, and so she was like, girl, when the car stopped, pull that emergency latch and you gonna get out and you gonna run to the right and you gonna run as fast as you can, and it's a mall right there. So she does exactly as she was told, and she runs to the mall where he follows her there shortly thereafter. And so after he parks, of course, and runs into the mall, here comes Will, Faith, and Ormwood. And so they suit up, they split up, and they head into the mall. Now, he eventually finds Sonny hiding in one of the bathroom stalls, him being Cromwell. And on their way out, Faith is actually the first to locate them out of her group of three. So they struggle over her gun, and after a shot is fired, Will and Ormwood come running. Now, Cromwell gets the upper hand and is getting ready to shoot Faith when Will runs and pushes her out of the way, taking the bullet for her. Now, thankfully, he got hit in the vest, so he's okay. But Cromwell ends up getting shot and then clotheslined by Ormwood. And so he's arrested. Now, back at the office, Sonny is reunited with her dad and introduced to her Uncle Will. And Sonny is able to meet and thank Amanda for offering some good guidance, right, to get her out of this jam that she was in. Now, Faith and Will call an awkward truce and leave things up in the air for when or if he'll actually be going back to Tennessee soon. And in the meantime, Will and Ralphie have a conversation about how he became a dad, and he said that it was due to an ill-advised experiment into heterosexuality. But look at the blessing that came out of it. And so since her mom was never the maternal type, but oddly enough he was, it just made sense for him to have her. But since his line of work isn't all that kid-friendly, he made arrangements for her to stay with Penelope so, she wouldn't be in the line of fire. Now that Penelope's gone, though, he's going to have to come up with another solution. And so Will offers to take her in, but he was like, are you sure about that? Because, she get her period every month. She love K-pop. You got your own stuff going on. Are you sure you want to deal with that? And he was like, hold on, I got a better idea. So they're wrapping up the case, right, and watching Cromwell be transported to jail when Faith calls Will back in and tells him that Cromwell actually wasn't the ringleader of the stolen cars. So it turns out that he's not the owner of the Battery Wall industrial account because he was getting paid from it just like Miss Dolores was, which means that somebody else is still out there that needs to be brought to justice. And as she's revealing that, y'all, they got the TV on watching Cromwell get transported. Why did Cromwell get shot in the head on TV? On live TV, y'all. Like I said, I got my good eye on that retired cop, the future retiree. Now, when they come back from commercial, y'all, the mayor is finishing up her press conference. And when she got finished with her press conference talking about how there'll be no more cop killing in her city, when she get off that stage, y'all, she gets confronted by Will, that she's the owner of the Battery Hill account, who knew the ins and outs of the crimes happening, the auctions that were taking place for the cars. And so she was the ringleader this entire time. She put Cromwell in place to take over the stolen car ring, and she was the one that called the hit for Lincoln and Chester's killings. When the block was getting a little too hot, y'all, she had to take him out. And so she reminds him of his recent run-in with Misfortune. And to put the icing on the evidence cake, y'all, he calls her phone using Cromwell's phone that they had confiscated once he was arrested. And he was like, you were the last person that he talked to right before we arrested him. So we know that you was a part of whatever he had going on. So they placed her under arrest while she steady more claiming that she didn't call for the hit on Cromwell. It's got to be the future retiree. Now, put a pin in that. Because on a happier note, we see where Sonny has temporarily landed, and that's with Amanda. Oh my gosh. That was perfect, right? Because while she was talking to Ralphie and trying to calm him down, he had asked her, did she have any kids? And she was like, unfortunately, no, I didn't. But we know that she raised Will to a certain extent, like he was her own, right? So yeah. And so this is perfect. But it's definitely gonna take some time getting used to on both ends. She gotta share her place now, and she's not ready for that. Now Angie goes before the board to plead her case in hopes of getting her job back and returning to what she loves doing the most, protecting the people in her community and being a cop. Speaking of returning to what was meant to be, Will is getting dressed to return to the office as he plays Gladys Knight in the Pips. Okay. Midnight train to Georgia when the doorbell rings. Y'all, it's Ralphie. And he done bought a gift. He bought him a packet of salted Kool-Aid pickles. Yeah, no. Now, I have tried some crazy stuff in my day. That is not one of them. I did used to eat pickles with hot sauce and, chips with hot sauce. I even went as far as to eat noodle packets, ramen noodles, and put like tuna in them and put hot sauce and cheese on them. Don't judge me until you try it, y'all. It was actually pretty good, okay? But this ain't about me. Now, Will tries it and was like, I don't know what the hell we was thinking. How didn't we die before this? Like, what was we doing? So, Will gives him a picture of him and Sonny that he happened to find in evidence when Sonny was a baby. And he reveals that he knows Cromwell was one of his guys. He was on the payroll. And so Ralphie admits that Cromwell was indeed on his payroll working for him, but there are rules to the game. And Cromwell crossed a whole bunch of lines when he took Sonny. So he got what he deserved. Next slice. Now that's what he called Will. Now, I did forget to mention that in one of those conversations that Will and Faith were having while they were waiting on Mac to pop up at the park, Faith had asked what the relationship was between him and Ralphie. And she said that she had happened to look back at Ralphie's criminal history and saw that he had went to jail for manslaughter right around the time that Will had got released from foster care. And she asked Will had he ever went to go see Ralphie, and he was like, nope, I never saw him while he was in jail. So yeah, maybe that's where he got the nickname from. Now Will says that he's decided to stay around for a while, and it's no longer Next Slice. It's Special Agent Will Trent, my boy. And so as we see him and Betty hit the road. Y'all, they finna go grab some shrimp tacos. That sounds real good. And that's the way the episode ends, y'all. This was a cute little welcome back for the season. I really enjoyed this episode. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it, though, okay? You can reach me at Me and You TV Reviews on Facebook and on Instagram. You can also reach me at My TV Reviews Podcast without the S on the end at gmail.com. I love y'all. I got some more shows coming this week, y'all. It's just been busy. I have worked a lot this week, so I'm just trying to play catch up, get some rest, do some stuff at home, y'all. So please forgive me, but the shows are coming, okay? That's all I have for now. Y'all stay safe out there, and until we meet over the airwaves again, I am Mo, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.